Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
There have been 3 different people who have committed 3 different crimes over a span of 81 hours in the city of Beloit.
Another life is lost in Beloit last night, the second homicide in less than 24 hours. Beloit Police Chief explains how they need the community's help. Good evening, I'm Alexis Carpello. A 19-year-old male is shot and killed in the parking lot of a local Wisconsin high school last night. The shooting happened around 8:55 in the front parking lot of Beloit Memorial High School. A basketball game was going on during that time. A school resource officer notified other officers that there was evidence of a shooting, but the victim was not on scene. Later, officers got a call that the 19-year-old had been dropped off at the hospital. He later died. While investigating, Beloit's police chief tells us over 30 witnesses were in the parking lot at the time of the shooting. He says the community needs to help the police department bring justice to these crimes.
Those individuals need to come forward and give us information. My department and myself are growing tired of the people who are refusing to talk to us. If that was your loved one, you would want somebody to come out and talk to you. It is absolutely ridiculous that we have 30 to 40 people who witness a young man lose his life and refuse to talk to us. The culture of the no snitching needs to stop.
The department has set up a hotline number to provide anonymous tips. That number is on your screen. It's 608-364-6823. We'll also have that number posted on our website. Rachel Perry spoke with the 19-year-old victim's family today. She joins us in studio now. And Rachel, you've met this family before.
Yeah, that's right, Alexis. Just less than 2 months ago, I spoke with them after 17-year-old Byron Broomfield was killed. Now the family tells me they're mourning the loss of 19-year-old Jayon Broomfield. They tell me enough is enough and are pleading with people to start talking.
And now we're here again because another relative of yours is gone because of gun violence.
We have not gotten over the first one, and here we are again at a nonsense violence in a public place.
Berdia McAllister is sad, angry, and fed up.
Because 2 young men have lost their lives. They didn't have the opportunity to fulfill everything that they were destined to do.
In less than 2 months, she's lost 2 nephews to gun violence. 17-year-old nephew Byron Broomfield killed in December, and now she tells me her 19-year-old nephew Jayon Broomfield is the victim killed Saturday night outside of Beloit Memorial High School.
That their today was yesterday. They have no today. They have no tomorrow. They have no future.
According to the Beloit Police Department, nearly 40 people witnessed the shooting. Berdia is pleading with them to come forward with information.
But he had to know them. He was your classmate. How can you not tell?
Everybody in Beloit knows everybody.
Elena Kasiki Spade and Crystal Williams.
That is true. If something happens, somebody knows.
Are parents of Beloit High School students.
I'm at a loss for words, honestly. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, this is not Beloit that I know.
Crystal's son was playing in the game when the shooting happened.
They're not going to pass any test if they're worried that the guy next to them has a gun.
At any moment, at any hour of the day, at any class period, something bad could happen.
And Berdia agrees, telling me more needs to be done, and that requires everyone to help.
It's about saving our children. It's us crying today, but it could be you tomorrow. So we don't want you to be that way. We want us to stop it now.
Berdia and family are asking the community to come together for a vigil happening right now outside the high school. If you have information about who killed Jayon, contact police or their tip line. That number is on our website, mystateline.com. Alexis?
All right, thanks, Rachel. Beloit police aren't just investigating this homicide. Within 81 hours, 3 people have lost their lives in the city. The Beloit police chief tells us 2 of the homicide investigations are still ongoing. The first happened on Wednesday on Madison Road. We told you about Shauna Greer was shot by her boyfriend, Anthony Richmond. He was later arrested. Saturday morning, a woman was found stabbed to death outside of a home on Clary Street just after 7 a.m. Then Saturday night, what we just told you, shots were fired, hitting and killing a 19-year-old in Beloit Memorial High School's parking lot. Chief Andre SAYLES says the uptick in crime is taking a toll on the officers.
3 deaths in 81 hours. If you've seen that yourself, raise your hands. Our men and women of the Beloit Police Department have seen that. And it's going to take a lot for us to help them through this because it's unfortunate.
Again, if you have any information on these crimes, call police. A small business is picking up the pieces after thieves smashed the front door and steal items from the shop. Porch off of Perryville and Old Creek Road was broken into over the weekend. The owner tells us the thieves got away with jewelry and cash from the register. She says this is the first time this has happened and it's heartbreaking.
It just makes you feel violated. We work so hard here to make this a happy environment for our customers.
The plan is to open up shop tomorrow. She says they're upgrading their security cameras too. The Los Angeles Rams are playing the 49ers tonight to find out who's going to the Super Bowl. And a local nurse is at the game thanks to her love of the team and a little help from the QB's wife. Alexandra Ham lives in northern Illinois, but her football loyalties aren't.
I was born into it. My grandpa was a really big Rams fan.
So it's probably a good thing Alex met her husband, Scott, who's also a huge Rams fan.
Oh, but he thinks it was the colors initially that drew him to the Rams when he was like 4 or 5.
They've even roped others into their Rams fan group.
My daughter has to be in her Rams cheerleading outfit. He has to be in his jersey. We have like this Rams wax warmer that we have to have on. It's a whole thing.
Scott is a military veteran and Alex is a perinatal educator at OSF. Both play a role in why they're at today's game.
And he told me she'd posted it like 20 minutes ago, and he said, oh, she's running this contest.
Scott saw Kelly Stafford, the Rams quarterback's wife, post online she was going to give away tickets to the NFC Championship game.
I was like, oh, sure, I'll go for it. And then I sent an email, I attached some pictures, and within an hour, she had posted on her Instagram that she had gotten over 12,000 emails. So I was like, oh, there's no way.
Alex sent in their story, complete with her and Scott's Rams-themed wedding.
And she replied to me, and she said, love the Jersey wedding. And I have good news. I have 2 tickets out of yours on one condition. You cheer loud. Please tell your husband thank you for his service and also thank you for being on the front line. What an amazing couple you guys are.
Alex said her husband didn't believe it at first, thought they may have gotten scammed. But when Alex read the email, she knew this was happening.
Yeah, my manager and my other boss were in here. And when I got the email and I couldn't breathe, I was like, Kelly Stafford, send me tickets. Kelly Stafford picked me. And my one manager was like, I don't even know what that means.
So they bought flights to Los Angeles and are sitting inside SoFi Stadium right now.
When they win this weekend, the energy in the stadium is just going to be wild. I cannot wait.
The Hams traditions won't stop just because they're in LA. Alex says they packed their daughter's cheerleading outfit in her overnight bag so she can watch at her grandparents' house.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, we had a little more cloud cover kind of thicken up over the last couple of hours, leaving us with a mostly cloudy sky. A live look with a Mercell Skytrack camera now out at the Poplar Grove Airport. Those clouds, something that'll stick with us as we go through the night tonight, but I do think as our winds turn calm and we get a couple of breaks in some of the cloud cover as it slowly starts to kind of work off to our east and northeast, we might see a little patchy fog develop during the late overnight and very early tomorrow. Nothing that I think will cause too much of an impact, but with our temperatures from the 20s where we're at right now dropping down into the teens, could be a little patchy freezing fog in some spots. We're currently 24 in Freeport, 27 in Rockford, Janesville, 24 right now in Rochelle. We have had a breeze from the northwest, so it's kind of pushed that wind chill factor down in the teens for a lot of us here this afternoon. 28 for our weather watcher Ken in Belvedere, 15 degrees is the current dew point temperature. No snow for our weather watcher Jim here on the southwest end of Rockford, checking in currently with 29. Snow chances stay few and far between, at least in the short term, but we are watching a couple of systems that'll work in towards the middle to end of this week that could bring us the potential for some snow. Down to 11 as we go through the overnight tonight. Winds will turn calm, but that wind does pick up as we go through the afternoon tomorrow. Look at what it does to our temperature. Bumps us into the low 30s, and in fact will stay very mild as we go into tomorrow night. So let's look at that with Futurecast. Cloud cover stays with us again, where we've got some pockets of clearing. You might see a little bit of patchy fog develop. Generally, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds, although cloud cover thickens up a little more as we go into the afternoon tomorrow. Temperatures with that southerly wind will make it into the upper 20s, low 30s. Will dip a little bit into tomorrow evening, but then rise again ahead of a cold front that'll come through early Tuesday. Ahead of that, temperatures Tuesday morning will be starting off in the mid 30s, and this could help springboard us near 40 degrees before that front comes through on Tuesday afternoon. So a lot more melting of the snow that we currently have. Now that cold front that comes through really going to be a key player into what happens here for the middle of the week. So let's break this down as we look over the next couple of days. High pressure, strong Arctic high pressure building in behind that front will shift our winds around to the north and northeast once we get into Tuesday night and Wednesday. That front stalls down to the south of us during that time. Up above, we've got winds that'll be coming in from the southwest, which continue to pull in quite a bit of moisture. So that battleground that we have is going to help develop a band of some precipitation. Where you've got the cold air, it's going to be snow. Where you've got the warm air, it is going to be rain. Right now, looks like we've got a band of some heavy snow that could set up from Missouri into central Illinois, south of Chicago into Indiana, while you've got a mix and an ice threat across southern Illinois and Indiana, parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, and then rain and maybe even a rumble of thunder too further to the south. So what does that mean right now for our potential snow chances? Well, right now looks like the highest snow accumulations expected to move from Missouri into central Illinois, but there's going to be a very sharp cutoff from totals that are 7, 8, 9 inches of snow to maybe totals that are half an inch, 1, 2 inches, and that's going to be on the northern fringe. Right now looks like we're on that northern fringe with the heaviest falling to the south, but that storm system that'll help develop that still south of the Aleutian Islands. So a lot of time still for that kind of to wiggle around. So we'll keep that snow chances, the time frame that we're watching, Tuesday night, Wednesday, and then the first half of Thursday. Behind that, we do see a little drop in our temperatures, Alexis. Those numbers will go down in the teens, but by this upcoming weekend, the first weekend here of February, we are back into what looks like the upper 20s and low 30s.
Now sports with David Greenberg.
Well, the Bears made their final important hire yesterday in Luke Getsy as the offensive coordinator. Here's a few things for you to know about Getsy. He was recently the Packers quarterback coach and passing game coordinator prior to being the QB coach. He was a wide receiver coach and helped Davante Adams flourish into arguably the league's best receiver. And lastly, he is a big fan of the RPO. And if you're not sold on Getsy, just listen to Rodgers talk about him.
So I think both Hack and Getsy can really relate to the guys. They're younger. Getsy played the game in college. He's 38 years old, and he's got a great energy about him. They can both lead and be in front of a room and I think captivate an audience.
Well, now with the NFL, let's take a look at the score from the AFC Championship game. This just went final a couple minutes ago. Believe it or not, the Cincinnati Bengals are going to the Super Bowl after beating the Chiefs 27-24 in overtime. They were down 21-3 at one point and came back to win. The second game between the Rams and the 49ers coming up on Fox in just a couple of minutes. Well, the Bulls are slowly rounding back into form and recovering from the injuries they've been suffering recently. Today they were at home in action against the Portland Trail Blazers. DeMar DeRozan kicks it out to Nikola Vucevic and Vooch from the top of the key. Later in the second, Troy Brown Jr. cross-court pass to Kobe White, and Kobe knocks it down from downtown. Later, Ayo pitches it to Vooch. Tough take, awkward shot, gets the and one, and now Vooch to Ayo in the corner, drives back to Vooch for the slam. Ayo had a career-high 11 assists. Vooch had 24 and 14 as the Bulls win 130-116. Show you the end of the Raptors and Heat game last night. Fred VanVleet coming back from injury. We're in double OT. It's Jimmy Butler hitting from the elbow to put the Heat up by 3. The Raptors cut it to 1, and then Fred from way downtown nails the 3. That put the Raptors up 2, but the Heat tie it to force a third overtime, and Fred from the parking lot delivers again. VanVleet had 19 and 8 assists as the Raptors win it 124-120 in triple overtime. Check out some college hoops now in Madison. The 11th-ranked Badgers hosted Minnesota in a Big Ten battle. That three from Brad Davison extends the Badgers' lead. A little later in the second half, Peyton Willis answers with a three of his own. That cuts the lead in half. Less than 30 seconds to go now. The potential National Player of the Year, Johnny Davis, pulls up and delivers. It puts the Badgers up by 5. They go on to win this 66-60. Let's wrap up a little golf action. This was from yesterday, the final round of the Farmers Insurance Open. Will Zalatoris was on top pretty much the entire day. It's his approach shot at the 18th. Tied at 15 under with Luke List. Look at the approach. It's a beauty. Lands it just below the hole. And here's his birdie putt for the win. At the last second, dips to the left, so we're going to a playoff. And in the playoff, Luke List, who shot 6 under on Saturday, places a beauty to within a couple of feet. And in a crazy fashion, comes back to get his first career victory on tour. What a moment there.
Just the cloud cover for us tonight. The first WARN interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. Might see a little fog here through the overnight and into early tomorrow. Warming up though for tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will make it into the low 30s. Notice tomorrow night we actually stay in the 30s up to 38 on Tuesday. Could see some snow. Watching the potential for some heavier snow in some spots Wednesday, Thursday. A little cool down by the end of the week.
Well, thanks for making us your home team. Have a great night.